Oh, we're going to get into this now. Excuse me.
Pixar storytellers love filling their films with Easter eggs, and Soul is one of them. In this movie, Joe and 22 are not the only ones to notice quite a few interesting things during their journey. So allow us to present to you some Soul Easter eggs that you probably missed during the film.
But first, a simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We will be giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's all your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple.
22 had some interesting teachers. When Joe and 22 met, we saw some flashbacks of many teachers who failed at preparing 22 to start a life on Earth. During these flashbacks, we learned that some departed souls like Muhammad Ali, Abraham Lincoln, Copernicus, and Mother Teresa all failed at teaching 22. Later in the movie, when 22 invites Joe to their home, we see Joe stopping to check all the displayed name tags 22 had placed on her wall with all the teachers that had failed to bring her to Earth. If you pause the film at the name tags, it'll surely take a while to read all painters, revolutionaries, and even baseball legends. Here, Joe understands that he's not the first musician 22 has met. Musician names like Marvin Gaye, Johnny Cash, and Aretha Franklin were all part of 22's wall cover. Even Stephen Hawking and Albert Einstein were a part of this huge display. Not to mention other icons such as Pablo Picasso, Amelia Earhart, Martin Luther King Jr., Babe Ruth, and the list is pretty much endless. However, some names are almost unrecognizable, even if you pause the film. But after looking closely, we could spot that one of 22's teachers was also the Marvel Comics artist Jack Kirby. If you pinch a little closer and focus more, the list becomes clearer as to what is showing. Apart from mentioning the world's most famous icons, it also mentions a figure that had spent his whole life contributing to the film industry. This display included Joe Raft, who was the co-writer of Toy Story, the voice actor of A Bug's Life, The Incredibles, Cars, and countless other Disney movies. Even Joe Grant was honored with a name on the wall for his effort in working on numerous animated films of the 20th century, like Lady and the Tramp, Fantasia, and even Mulan. Soul's subway is filled with Easter eggs. When Joe and 22 were walking through the subway, they were amazed at all the things that were happening there. But this scene had more secret features than you expected. In the subway, an advertisement for Brang is shown. If you don't recall, in the 2015 Pixar film Inside Out, Riley's father worked for a company called Brang. However, in Soul, you don't get a complete shot of the whole ad, but you can see some pieces of it followed by a cliché slogan titled, "What did you brang?" Another Easter egg we spotted in the subway tunnels was the number 2319. It showed up when 22 was listening to the music of a street performer. You can see this number visible on the singer's shoulder. If you're a fan of the 2001 movie Monsters, Inc., then you might remember this number. 2319 is the code that is used to indicate if a human object is found in the monster world. It's pretty genius that Pixar included this, considering the situation 22 and Joe were in at the moment. 22 was too afraid to leave the great before, while Joe was meant to return to the great beyond. Both of them are intruders of worlds they are not part of. The Hall of Everything. While being a part of the great before, Joe faces a lot of wonders, one of which is the Hall of Everything. This place helps new souls find out who they are and make them ready for the real world. Here, the new souls find what they're good at, whether it's cooking, basketball, or drawing. Every new soul is meant to find something that they'll be able to do on Earth. But the Hall of Everything is loaded with unexpected Easter eggs. We've kind of gotten used to Pixar adding pizza planets in every new film they release. Pizza Planet made its first appearance in Toy Story, and it's visible in other movies such as Finding Nemo, Cars, and WALL-E. In Soul, we see the Pizza Planet truck appear at the beginning of the Hall of Everything. That's surely not the only thing we spot here. If you look really closely, you can spot the Spirit of Adventure blimp that appears in the movie Up, as well as the Starline spacecraft Axiom floating far in the distance. If you pause the scene for a couple of more minutes, you can also spot a Ferris wheel from Toy Story 4, Willie's butt from Cars, and even an Aztec building from Coco. Producers surely wanted to make the scene all about Easter eggs, and even included the iconic desk lamp that first made an appearance in the short film called Look So Junior. You can spot this desk lamp if you look closely at the grand piano. Soul even includes the 2015 pizza rat. In 2015, comedian Matt Little filmed a video of a rat dragging an entire slice of pizza down the stairs of a New York subway. This iconic rat gets startled by people and runs away while leaving the slice of pizza behind. The video went viral on the internet as soon as it was uploaded. 5 years later, Pixar decided to give this mighty pizza rat a tribute in the movie Soul. After Joe and 22 finally find a way to go to Earth, 22 ends up in Joe's body. And poor Joe, well, he's stuck in the form of a therapy cat. Both of them soon get out of the hospital and head off to the streets of New York. In the beginning, 22 was overwhelmed by the huge metropolis. The loud traffic, crowds of people, and the huge buildings all scare 22, leading them to escape from Joe and hide in a dark corner in fear. Joe eventually finds 22 and tries to calm them down by offering them to try a hot slice of pizza. But as soon as he brings the slice to 22, the mighty Pizza Rat shows up, dragging his pizza slice across the street. This shows clearly that Pizza Rat has made some improvements to being braver since the 2015 video. This scene was truly hilarious. The Luxo So Junior Ball. 22 had gathered a collection of different things while they were hiding in the Great Before. When the songs were introducing Joe to their place, we could see a sofa, a jukebox, and an alarm clock in the background. But among all these items, there was also a toy ball that seemed pretty familiar to animation historians and even Pixar fans. As 22 was having a conversation with Joe in the hideout, this toy ball was very visible in the background. The ball first appeared in the 1986 short film called Look So Junior, made by John Lasseter. The short animation film includes 2 desk lamps, where one is an elder lamp and the other one is a baby lamp. During the short film, the baby lamp plays with the red ball decorated with a decorative red star. This short film ends with the baby lamp jumping on the ball and deflating it, moments before finding a bigger ball to play with. In Soul, we see that the smaller ball is kept by 22 in their hideout place. The only thing we couldn't point a finger at is what the presence of this ball has to do with this particular scene. The ball not only shows up, but it's also been reinflated. A very familiar statue appears in Soul. The way the Great Before function needs some work, because Joe was able to pretend to be the child psychologist Dr. Borgenson after simply swiping the doctor's name tag. When 22 finally discovers that Joe is not Dr. Borgenson, the Great Before goes through the doctor's history, looking at meaningful slices of his life in the Hall of You. One of those slices showed the doctor holding a hand of a child as he moved forward in the distance. If you think that this statue looked a little bit familiar, that's because it is. The statue appears in several Disney theme parks. It first appeared in 1993, but instead of including Dr. Borgenson in the picture, the original statue shows Mickey Mouse holding the hand of a child. After this scene, it sure made us wonder as to who exactly Mr. Borgenson was and why exactly he was so important. Unfortunately, we never get to hear from him again once Joe gets his own name tag. How could a soul that was heading for the Great Beyond remember a walrus? When Joe was in the process of heading to the Great Beyond, there were a lot of things that screamed Easter egg in the scene. Joe meets 3 other souls that are heading in the same direction as him, and one of them weirdly says that this was better than the dream about the walrus. There are many fans suspicious as to what the soul meant by that. We might think that Pixar tried to link it with Alice in Wonderland. The comment most likely was a reference to the 1951 song called The Walrus and the Carpenter. The song talks about a walrus and a carpenter who invite many oysters to their dinner table before luring these oysters to their doom when both the walrus and carpenter decide to eat them. So we're thinking maybe this newly departed soul wished she was a walrus eating oysters. Strange. A travel agency advertises the next Pixar movie. Along with adding a lot of Easter eggs in its movies, Pixar is known for referencing future movies as well. In Soul, we might have a sneak peek at the next upcoming movie. This might have been shown intentionally when 22 and Joe walk by a travel agency located in Manhattan. In the window, we can see a post with an advertisement that encourages you to fly to Luca Airlines and visit Porto Rosso. If you've been keeping up with upcoming Pixar movies, you know all too well that this is no doubt a reference to the upcoming movie called Luca, which is expected to be released on June 18, 2021. The movie will talk about a little boy whose friend is a sea monster living in human form. Have you discovered any other Easter eggs in Soul that we might have missed? Be sure to comment on them down below. Thanks so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video and we'll see you next time.